Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Kevin with Everglades Canine, and today I'm working with Theo, the mini Australian Labradoodle. If you've been following along, I've been doing a board and train with him, and he's been here for a couple days now. Just a little recap: he is a little bit of a shy fellow. He was kind of a little skittish at first, but I will say he's opening up very nicely. Look at him, being super friendly. And we're just working on some basic obedience with him. And so, okay. So, what I'm going to be doing today, we have like a really rainy day here in Naples. And it's kind of hard to work outside, which we usually like to do. So, today I'm going to show you a uh, a couple different techniques on how to get your dog into a down position. Now, word at the house, at Theo's house, is that he does know down, but he typically will only do it when he's in the office uh, with his owner, and he will only do it for the male owner. So he won't down for the female owner. And what we need to do is we just need to establish some obedience commands with him, and down is a big one. And so I'm going to do some luring. I'm going to try to lure him into a down with food. Now, when you're at home and you're getting your dog into a down, I see a lot of people, they'll point to the ground, they'll bend over, they'll say down, down, down. They'll kind of repeat the command a lot. And I want to say that I don't think that's the right way to do it. We want to, before we even add a verbal command, we really want to, hey, off. Okay. This is another thing. Like I am glad he's warmed up to me, but the constant like crowding and getting in my leader space, he's really trying to crawl into my lap. I really want to prohibit that. It's really important. Theo, although he is a little nervous, he doesn't really understand his boundaries that well. So he's literally trying to crawl on my lap, and I really do want to apply a correction so he knows that behavior is not acceptable, because he does need boundaries, and this is a big thing we're going to have to work with him in the house, because he does break boundaries in the house. So teaching him boundaries right away is what we want to do. And you do got to be careful, because I am petting him, and I'm doing what we call pet confirmation. Is I'll pet him a little bit and then I'll stop, and then he throws up like big signs that he wants to be pet again, like this. This is a little side tangent, but when you're petting a dog, your dog or someone else's dog, practice pet confirmation. Some dogs actually don't want to be touched, but they'll give subtle signs. Most dogs are nice enough that they won't bite, but pet confirmation is basically like, I'm going to pet him. He's a good boy, and then I'm going to stop. Good. And then I'm going to see if he's going to give me signs that he wants to be pet again. See him? This looks like friendly signs, like he's like, yes, I do like this contact. Okay, and I like to pet under the jaw, behind the ears. Look at this guy. He loves it. Good boy. Coming from a dog who was impulsing away from me to him being friendly, that's a really good feeling. And I think that means that, no. Okay, so we want to be calm. See how he's climbing up in my lap? There we go. Good boy. Uh, when a dog is jumping all over you, there's a couple different things you can do. You can go like a corrective route. You can, bop them off your knee or say no. Sometimes you just ignore them, and then if you ignore them and stand still, they might jump off of you, and maybe they'll sit, or maybe even just jumping off of you is a good way to start rewarding them. Okay. So what we're gonna do is I've have my camera set up in a specific location. I'm set up right next to a wall. I kind of like to get a me I like to get the dog in between me and a wall, because I am gonna try a pressure technique on him. I will be doing a force down with the leash. So basically, I'll kind of pull the leash down at a certain straight down to the ground and put a certain amount of pressure on him, and we're gonna see if he goes down or not. And the reason why I like wedging the dog up against the wall is so if they do try to wiggle out of it, that they don't start doing circles. And that's really important because when you're starting to do pressure work, you really need to commit to it. Now, I don't do a forced down with every dog. Typically, I will usually start by luring. I do a lot of luring. Yeah. I'll do a lot of luring at first. And Theo is very hungry right now. And so I'm going to try to start with luring. But if he doesn't take to the lure, then I'm going to resort to pressure. Okay, so when we're luring the dog, now I have a little bit of kibble in my hand. I want to turn around, so I want you to face. I'm going to hold the kibble in my hand, and I'm not going to let him get it. I'm going to lower slowly to the ground in between his paws, and I'm going to hold. Okay, you see me holding right there? Okay, you see how he's like, let's see if he lays down. Good boy. Once all 4 paws are down on the ground, good. I mark and reward. Now, I'm not even going to make him hold it as of right now. I will eventually start working him with duration. I'm going to lure him back. Here we go. And down to the ground. Yes. Mark and reward. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. He's such a gentle dog. Such a gentle dog. Good. Ready? Kibble in my hand, luring below his paws. We want to do this from a stand position if possible. All right, so this is also, if your dog isn't luring right, I'm almost certain that when they're teaching him down, they're having him sit first because he's wanting to get into a sit position first. And there we go. That's what I want. Yes. Good. A lot of times I ask my owners to get their dog into a down, and the first thing that they do is they always go sit and then down. And if you're really practicing or you have a fresh slate with your dog, you really want them to down from a stand position. All right. You don't want to have to do 2 commands. Yes. You don't want to have to do 2 commands to get them in the down position. Okay. You really want them to do 1 motion. Yes, good. And we want to do this. Good boy. You know, we want to lure 1,000 times. Typically what I will do, I won't even really tell the dog to down until I start lowering my hand and the dog just goes down automatically because they know the lure. Go down halfway. Yes. Good. Very good, Theo. Work a little duration. Good boy. Good stay. Good. So when you're teaching your dog commands, do a lot of luring at first. Good. Until the dog knows the luring hand signal 1,000%. Then we add on the down. Yes. Look at that. He learns so quickly. It's so nice. Good boy. It's a good boy. Good. Yeah, you are. Let's try again. So, take your time with it, right? Your dog will learn down, but you want to lure them. Look at that. Good boy. Good. You missed one. There you go. And the reason why I'm spinning him in a circle is just so you can see him go down. Good. Look at how easy he's going down now. Good. Good boy. So finally, after about 3 days, he's starting to get a little hungry. It took you a little bit, but, working with food is me personally what I like to do. And He wasn't very food motivated for like the first couple days, but now, I've withheld some food. There's really no secrets to it. I typically will just give the dog, a little bit of food in the morning, and then just a little bit of food at night. And over the couple days, that usually builds up. And by the third or fourth day, the dog is pretty hungry and pretty willing to work. Okay. Here, Theo. Let's lure him. Oh, we got a little free snack there. All right. So remember, look, we hold the kibble. We let him spot it, right? It's in my hand. He can't get it. I'm holding it. Just going to slowly lower down to his paws. Good boy. Look at that. Look at that. Let's see if I can get him over here out of the wall so you can see. Come. Oh, he wants to hold it down. There we go. Ready? And lower to the paws. Oop, I'm a little bit out of frame there. Good boy. Maybe if I back up a little bit. There we go. Hi. Oh, I keep dropping. Try not to drop. Rookie move. Here we go. Right. Let him mark the food. Look at my hand, lowering slowly and steadily. See the butt? Wait till the butt goes down. Boom. Yes. Mark and feed. Good boy. Feed duration. All right. Let's go ahead and free my. Let's start trying to get him to hold it a little bit. Down. There we go. Nope. Good. I don't want him to hold it. So like right now, his punishment is that he just, so I'm doing the wrong hand gesture. There we go. Nope. Good. Yes. There we go. So he's still a little hit or miss with his marker. So that means I need to load his marker a little bit more. But luring a dog is a good way to get him to go down. Okay. And you want to do this 100,000 times. And then I'll show you how I add the verbal on. Okay, so he's still kind of taking his time to get down, which means I'm really not ready to add on the verbal command yet. Boy. All right. See if we can lure and get him into a sit. Theo, sit. Good. Lure him into a stand. So he doesn't really cue the luring hand that much. Yes. Good. So if your dog isn't cueing off luring a lot, you do want to start luring him. Yes. So I just lure them little by little because he doesn't really want to follow my hand yet. Get him to go over my legs. Yes. Good boy. So I do want to get him more used to luring. There we go. And it's down. And then you'll be surprised. This is why I like working with food, because I can also do all leash pressure with him, but I do like working with food and luring dogs. Yes, because it's effective and because it's fun. All right. Definitely in the business for getting results, but I also just think it's a fun way to train to work with food. I hear a lot of people that are like, oh, I really don't know why people don't want to work with food. As long as you're not falling into a bribery practice, that is very common. And I do know a lot of trainers face that problem where, they're working with a client and we've all heard it, like, and you may even be in this position yourself where, they say, my dog doesn't do anything unless I grab a treat. Right. And that just simply tells me that they have fallen into bribery versus rewarding. And I do think it's really easy to fall into bribery versus rewarding. Right. So, if you don't train with food and you don't train with pressure, leash pressure, let me know how you train your dog. There has to be some sort of association happening. So, me, I use food and I use pressure. I am a little hesitant to do downward pressure on Theo. We can give it a try just for film's sake. He may take to it nicely. And I do like the escape pressure technique because the dog does have to, this is what we do if we're not training with food, or it also helps with dogs walking looser, on leash as well. So, there's a couple caveats when you're doing downward pressure. And I will say that when I first started training, I used to do a forced down all the time. And I've kind of gotten away from it. So we're going to try it here. So basically, I'll just butt him up against the wall. He does get a little nervous. So I want to make sure he's standing. I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure on him downwards. Okay, I also want the leash to be nice and high on his neck. Let's bring him around, face the camera, and let's just put a little pressure on him down. There we go. I don't want him to sit. Okay, so I'm not going to force him all the way to the ground. I just want him to down. So once you start putting pressure on him, you got to kind of see it through. Right? So I don't want him to sit. There we go. Good. And I want his head to remain forward. Okay, and this is why I use a wall when I'm doing pressure techniques. Okay, I may put there we go. That's what I want to see. I want to see the head go down. No sitting. No sitting. No sitting. There we go. I want to adjust him right. There we go. Now we just got to hold and be patient. There we go. Yes. Good. Right when he goes down, we mark, we reward. Wow, look at that. Huh? Oh my goodness. There we go. Good boy. Let's try again. He did go down pretty easy. There we go. Just a little bit of pressure. Yes. Good boy. Good. That second time came right around just like that. Okay, that pressure work is doing good things. He's doing good things. I'm sorry, guys. My hips and my knees are... I'm feeling old and sore these days. Good boy. Proud of you. Try again. Yes. Good. And when you're putting pressure on the dog, the reason why the real reward is actually the release of pressure. So I'm pulling him down to the ground. There's going to be a little bit of pressure applied. Once he gives to the leash and goes all the way down, I let go, I mark yes, and I reward. Okay, the next thing, I wouldn't really worry about duration at first with the dog. Okay, we will eventually get him to start holding it. Right now, I just want to get in reps of him just going down into the down position. All right, and I want him to down for anybody that asks him to be down. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to go ahead and end the video there. Just easy, luring and down and using leash pressure and down. When you are using leash pressure, if you begin to do it, just don't let up. Okay, and don't pull too hard down. All right, you don't want to force the dog all the way down. You want to put just enough pressure to where you feel them fight a little bit and you're not forcing them all the way to the ground, and then they complete the downward journey on their own. Okay, that's all you need to do. You put a little pressure down. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. There you go. All right, guys, with that said, that's going to be the end of the video. If you have questions or comments, just leave them down below. I'll do my best to answer them. And always remember, happy training, and we'll see you on the next video.